Good day, my dear BSA students. Today I will be discussing the Module 1 of your CFAS subject, which is the need for financial reporting. As our subject overview, this entails an overview as to what this subject is all about. And we know that the information that is being provided by accounting significantly helps business enterprises to compete, and also the information that is provided to them, they use it to formulate better decisions. Also, the evolving, changing needs of different users for information and the changes in business practices as well as emerging new business models are some primary factors why accounting is so dynamic. So, alam naman natin na napakabilis ng pagbabago sa lahat ng bagay, na hindi lang sa technology, kundi sa the way we do business. So, ngayon nga lang, di ba, we are at a pandemic. So, nagkaroon ng maraming pagbabago. Di ba? Nauso na, lalo na ngayong nauso at naging trend online kasi nga, we can't do business face-to-face as of this time. So, ngayon, kung may mga pagbabago sa negosyo, kumbaga nag-evolve ang business and business practices and also the needs of the users, nag-evolve din yan. Kaya, ang accounting, being the language of business, ay continuously evolving din. That's why it is, sabi nga, accounting is so dynamic because it is changing fast. Gaya nga nung na-experience ng madami na BSA students, hindi pa sila nakaka-graduate pero yung pinag-aralan nila nababago na. Kasi nga nagkakaroon lagi ng updates. At pag nagkaroon ng updates, mababago na yung mga accounting principles and conventions na ginagamit sa ating profession. And also, accounting practices have to be continuously modified. Ayun na nga yung sinasabi ko. Kailangan siyang laging na-modify and able to cope with the changes in users' information needs and then the changes in business practices. Kaya nga, talagang laging may pagbabago. So, pag ikaw ay naging accountant, the learning is not ending. It continues. Kahit na kami na nagtuturo na mismo ng accounting, lagi pa rin may bagong learnings. Kaya nga nire-require sa profession na ito ang mga CPD. Okay? Yung Continuous Professional Development. Okay? Dahil hindi nga pwedeng mag-stop yung knowledge mo because accounting is continuously modified. So the objectives of this module is for you to describe the purpose of accounting and financial reporting, identify the need for information of the user of accounting information, describe the branches of accounting. So mapapansin niyo, this is just a review of what you've already learned in your accounting during your first year. And also discuss the development of accounting standards and financial reporting standards, identify the organizations involved in the promulgation of the accounting standards, describe the due process of developing international financial reporting standards, and also to describe the process of developing and promulgating the financial reporting standards. So lahat ng yan yung i-discuss natin sa module na. So here in the picture, you will see that there are external users and internal users. So ano ba yung external users? Sabi nga dito, financial accounting provides external users with financial statement. So mamaya, madi-discuss natin bakit financial statement ang pinoprovide ng financial accounting sa external users. Sa internal users naman, managerial accounting naman. because it provides information needs for internal decision making. So sabi dito, external user daw ay financial accounting and internal users ay managerial accounting. Okay, so meron tayong mga tinatawag na stakeholders. Sino ba yung mga stakeholders na ito? They include owners, managers, employees, regulatory agencies. Ayan, marami yan. Suppliers, taxing authorities. And these stakeholders, they are the users of the financial information provided by the system or discipline that is called accounting. So, itong mga stakeholders na ito ang nangangailangan ng mga information na ito. And then the accounting process has the ultimate purpose of generating general purpose financial statements to provide the information. Okay, kaya nga tayo gumagawa ng financial statements because we want to provide the financial information to these users. Bakit nila kailangan yung financial information? Because they use it as basis for the formulation of economic decision. And then the communication of this set of financial statements and other financial information is called financial reporting. So, yun yung tawag doon. And then now, we will proceed with the discussion of the external and internal users. So, active owners and managers use financial information to evaluate the entity's performance, make financial and operational plans, and implement business decisions. Diba? Kaya ito kailangan ng active owners and managers. So, ito active owners ha. Pag sinabi kasi nating active owners, these are the owners that are involved with the management of the business. That's why they need this information in order to evaluate nga yung performance ng business. Tapos, pag na-evaluate na nila yung performance, they will be able to make plans. And then, pag nakapagplano na sila, they will implement na the business decision. Okay? Ano yung mga business decision na yon? They are to continue or to liquidate. Diba? Kasi di ba pagka palagi lalo ngayon, di ba pandemic, maraming mga negosyo ang nag-decide na tumigil na muna. Yung iba talaga, pag sinabi kasi nating liquidate, talagang i-stop na nila yung operation ng business because they were not able to cope up with the situation. Okay, ano pa? To infuse additional investment. So, pwede rin yon. Kasi siguro nakikita nila na may pag-asa pa yung negosyo, kailangan lang nito ng additional capital. To borrow from creditors, so kung wala namang makukunan na additional capital or investment, pwede naman mangutang. Ano? To change business methods and strategies. Yan. And some decision needs faced by the owners and managers. Okay. Another one is they are also used the financial information are also used to determine whether yung demands ba ng employee ay i-grant nila. Ano ba yung mga demands na yon? They are improved remuneration and then yung economic benefits. So, syempre, hindi naman pwedeng basta mo na lang yun i-grant. Dapat masigurado mo na you have the capacity, you have the capability to provide this benefits and remuneration to your employees. Kasi baka naman mangyari, maubos na yung fund, mapunta na lahat sa salary. Kaya itong mga users na ito, they have ready access to specific types of accounting information because they are involved, they are within the management. That's why easily they can access the information. And that's why they are also called the internal users. Okay? So, the branch of accounting, which is called the management accounting, ito yung dinesign in order to meet the information needs of this internal user. So, kayo magkakaroon din kayo ng subject na ganyan later on, management accounting. And also, because of their actual involvement in the operations of the business, so, the Active owners and managers may require that the information be communicated and made available to them in a form fitting their specific decision-making needs. Ibig sabihin, though we are using format, kasi nga may standard tayo sa accounting, pero pwede rin silang mag-design ng sarili nilang format, okay? Para mas madaling ma-communicate yung information. Yan. Those users that does not have ready access to the financial reports and heavily rely on the negotiations and regulations in order to obtain the information from the business enterprise, they are called external users. Okay? So who are the external users? So they are the inactive owners. Okay? So inactive owners sila because they are not actively involved in the management of the business. They are the creditors and lenders, suppliers, investors, taxing authorities, employees. So bakit kasama dito ang employees tsaka employee unions? Kasi naman, di ba, employees don't have the ready access of the financial reports. So hindi naman sila pwedeng basta hingi na lang, di ba, yung mga reports from the company that they are working for. Okay. Financial analysts, financial advisors, and also consultants. Kasama rin dyan ang general public. That's why general purpose reports ay pinoprovide ng financial accounting. At yung mga general purpose reports na yun, they are called the financial statements. So, na-mention natin kanina, di ba? Ang internal users, ang ginagamit nila ay management accounting. Ang external users naman ay financial accounting. So, external users have diversified information needs. Okay? So, magkakaiba yung mga needs nila. Example na lang dyan, yung mga inactive owners. Kasi, di ba, pag sinabi natin inactive owners, they are not actively participating in the management of the business. So, that's why they delegate someone else. So, stewardship na nagmamanage ng enterprise's resources. Okay? So, that's why they need the financial statements in order to know if maayos ba yung pag-manage ng mga managers. And also, they want to know the financial condition and the financial performance in order for them to decide whether they should what? They should hold or sell their equity. Ito yung mga shareholders because they have the option of holding or selling the stocks that they own from that certain company or corporation. So, who are the external users? So, isa-isahin natin. The first one is the present and potential creditors. So, it is very obvious naman why they need the financial information. That's because they want to know or assess the ability of the enterprise to pay its loan and interest attaching to such loan. Yun naman talaga ang pinaka-concern nila. Gusto nilang malaman, makakabayad ba ng utang itong company na ito na nangungutang sa kanila. The other one is the supplier. Suppliers, so they are the one that is providing the goods and services that are needed by the company. So the reason why they need the financial information is the same with the reason of the present and potential creditors. Kasi alam naman natin, suppliers, kadalasan binibigay din nila on account yung mga goods sa company. So, kailangan din nilang malaman if those goods and services will be paid when due. Yan, kung mababayaran ba sila. Okay? So they are dependent upon the continuation of the enterprise as a major customer. Kasi nga naman, pag nawala yung enterprise na yun, mababawasan yung kikitain nila, di ba? So they should know the financial position and performance of that entity. The next one are the employees. So, bakit ba kailangan ng employee? Una, for them to evaluate then if the company has the ability to provide the remuneration, the benefits, and other employment opportunities that they want. Okay? So, kaya nga sa pagtatrabaho, paghahanap din ng trabaho, if pwede ka namang mamili ng trabaho, isa yan sa titingnan mo, kung mayroon bang capacity yung company na maibigay sa'yo yung sweldo na nararapat sa'yo. At saka isa pa, if the company is not doing well, so ano ang pwedeng gawin ng empleyado? Pwede siyang maghanap na ng pwede niyang malipatan na trabaho. Kasi nga naman, just in case na bigla na lang magsara yung company na yon, wala na siyang trabaho. So, wala na siyang income. Diba? The next one are customers. So, when we say customers, bakit naman kailangan din ng customer yung financial information ng company? Because they have an interest in the information about the continuance of an enterprise. Bakit? Ang isang example nito ganito. For example, yung customer na yon, customer sila ng isang enterprise. Supplier nila kunwari si Company A. Tapos, si Company B yung customer. Si Company B, kumukuha siya ng mga supplies niya. For example, it is a manufacturing company. Si Company B, kumukuha siya ng mga raw materials niya from Company A. Yun yung supplier niya. So, ito naman si Company B, yung raw materials na nakukuha niya, kino-convert niya ito into finished products, na yun naman yung sinusupply niya sa kanyang mga customers. So, what will happen if all of a sudden, biglang tumigil ang business ni Company A? Anong mangyayari kay Company B, which is the customer? Wala na siyang makukuhaan ng kanyang mga raw materials. And if wala na siyang raw materials, matitigil ang kanyang production. Okay? Nakukuha niyo yung scenario? So, pag natigil ang production niya, wala na rin siyang produkto na ibebenta dun sa mga customer niya. That's why, as a customer, si customer B, kailangan niyang malaman if Company A, which is its supplier, will be able to continue its operation because they have a long-term involvement with each other. Okay? So, that is the explanation here. So, the next one is the government and its agencies. So, it's very obvious. What is the reason why they need to know the financial information of a certain business entity? Siyempre, they want to know if the taxes that they are collecting is what? Correct. Correct amount of taxes. Okay? So, yun lang naman eh. They need to know, tama ba yung dineclare na tax nitong taxpayer na ito? Kasi baka mamaya, mali pala. Okay, and the last one is the public. Bakit naman interested ang public when it comes to the financial information of the business entities? It's because they signify or they reflect the nation's economic status. Ano example niyan? Kapag ang mga negosyo ay sa isang lugar ay nagsasarahan na, nagdi-discontinue na ng kanilang operation, what is the indication? So the indication is that the economy is not doing well because walang nakakasurvive ng mga business entities. Pero kapag nagsusulputan ng mga negosyo, okay, maya't maya ay, kumbaga, maraming mga bagong negosyo na lumalabas. So, ano pwedeng indication nun? The indication is that the economy is doing well in that place. Okay? Kasi maraming nagiging negosyo. At alam naman natin, sa pagdami ng negosyo sa isang lugar, ay pag-unlad din ng kalagayan nito financially. Bakit? Because businesses provide job opportunities. Okay? It also improved the living of the people in that particular community. Ayan. So that's why the public is interested in the financial information of the business entity. Now, who are the direct and indirect users? So aside from internal or external, users can also be categorized as direct or indirect. Okay, users with direct interests, okay, they use financial information as a tool to protect their own interest in the enterprise. So sino ba yung mga example nito? They are the owners, the managers, creditors, suppliers, customers, employees, and taxing authority. Bakit? Bakit sila tinawag na direct user? Because they have direct interest, direct financial interest toward the company. Okay? Kasi di ba yung owners, sila yung nag-invest dun sa company na yun. So, ano ang direct interest nila doon kung kumikita ba yung investment nila? The managers naman, sila naman yung nag-e-expect ng sweldo from the company. And then they are the one managing the business. So, may direct interest sila to know if they are performing well. The creditors and suppliers, they are the one who lend or give credit to the company. So, they're interested if the company will be able to pay them. Okay? So, that's why they have the direct interest. And then the other one is the indirect users. When we say indirect users, this include the regulatory agencies, the labor unions, and the financial and legal consultants. Ibig sabihin, they don't really rely on the company or on the business enterprise. So, nakikita nyo, di ba? Ito kasi mga owners, managers, creditors, suppliers, yung mga direct interest or direct user, nagre-rely sila kasi dun sa negosyo, dun sa business. Pero itong mga indirect users, which are the labor unions, regulatory agencies, hindi naman sila nagre-rely. They will exist or they can exist even if the business enterprise stopped its existence. What I mean is, hindi sila nagre-rely financially kasi doon sa business na yon. Ang example ng mga regulatory agencies are the Securities and Exchange Commission. Okay? So, ano ba ang ginagawa ng SEC? It protects the interest of the investors and the public as well. Pag sinabi naman nating labor union, sila naman yung nagpo-protect ng interest ng employees. And when we say financial and legal consultants, they provide advice and assistance to their clients. Okay? So, although users are interested in both quantitative and qualitative information about the entity, so accounting primarily presents the information that can be measured and expressed in terms of units or monetary units. Okay, so that's why the financial statements are expressed in numbers. Okay, it's quantitative information, no? Hindi siya qualitative information. Okay. Next is the accounting entity concept. So what is accounting entity concept? So dito pupunta na tayo dun sa assumption na ginagamit sa accounting. So, ito, alam ko, familiar na ito with you. When we say reporting entity or accounting entity, they may be a business enterprise, a government unit, a not-for-profit organization, pwede rin silang, or any other unit that is considered to have a personality different from the personality of the owners. Okay, kaya nga may tinatawag tayong accounting entity concept because accounting entity, it is able to or capable to control its own economic resources and also they can incur economic obligation. Okay, so dagdag explanation ko lang dun sa accounting entity concept, di ba? Pagka meron kang business, yung business na yon, iba yon. That is separate and distinct from you. Which means that its resources, its liability, is separate from you. So, hindi mo yun pwedeng paghalu-haluin. For example, wala kang pagbayad ng kuryente, yung pera ng negosyo yung kukunin mo. Pwede rin naman, nangyayari talaga yun sa actual practice. Pero, dapat ilista mo yun para pag may pera ka na, babayaran mo pa rin siya. Kumbaga, you have to treat your business as a separate entity from you. Ayan. So, what are the branches of accounting? So, these are the branches of accounting. So, marami tayong branches. And lahat ng ito ay pag-aaralan ninyo. Actually, nandito pa lang kayo. Yan. Financial accounting pa lang, which is the very foundation actually. This is the, kumbaga kung meron kayong dapat ma-master, ma-memorya, ito yun. Okay? Because this is the very foundation of accounting. So, ano ba ito? This is concerned with the recognition, measurement, communication of economic resources. Pag sinabi natin economic resources, these are assets. Economic obligation, these are liabilities. And changes in economic resources and economic obligation. Okay? So, these types of information are communicated in a complete set of an enterprise's what? Financial statements. Also, financial statements, ito rin yung ginagamit ng external users in order to what? To get the financial information that they need from the business enterprise. And then financial accounting, syempre, it should conform with the accounting standards. Bakit? Because external users rely their decision-making on the financial information that is provided by the financial statements. And financial statements is the finished product of financial accounting. So that's why this practice should conform to the standards that are developed by the standard setting body. Okay? So the main purpose then of accounting standards naman is to ensure that there is relevance and reliability when it comes to the financial information provided by the financial statements. And although financial accounting generally meets the need of the users, okay? So, financial statements din ay ginagamit to evaluate the entity's performance and the condition. So, ibig sabihin, sa management accounting, ang pinagbabasihan pa rin naman dito is the financial statements. Naiiba lang yung way kung paano ginagamit yung information. Ayan, management accounting. So, management accounting serves the information needs of the internal users. Yan na, take note, internal users. So, ganito ha, financial accounting is broader than management accounting because financial accounting can be used by both internal and external users. Okay? While management accounting, ito, ginagamit lang talaga ito solely of internal users. So, the managers and active owners use accounting to make and implement short-term and long-term plans for the enterprise. Kasi diba, the information provided by the financial statements will be their basis in assessing the performance and position of the enterprise. And also, it is used for or in making routine and major economic decisions. And then another one, information required by the management may vary based on the specific needs at a particular time. Kaya nga sa management accounting, dito nyo may encounter ang budgeting, ang mga standard analysis, ang mga cost volume profit analysis, okay, mga incremental analysis. So marami puro analysis. Because you will be using the financial statement in order to analyze the performance and position of the business for you to be able to make the correct economic decision. The next branch is cost accounting. So what is cost accounting? So it is concerned with the measurement and recognition of cost of services provided or products manufactured. So, ito yung isa ninyong subject ngayon. Ano? Actually, ito more on ano naman to eh. More on computation actually. You don't need to analyze really the transaction. You should just know how to compute. Okay? Kailangan nyo lang malaman kung paano kwentahin. At pag alam nyo na, ilalapat nyo lang yung paraan ng pagkwenta. Kumbaga, ang pinagkaiba nito sa financial accounting kasi, actually, hindi masyadong madami ang kinikwenta sa financial accounting. Hindi masyadong madami ang computation. Minsan nga, you don't need to compute anything. Because the answer is already given. Okay, in the problem. Or sometimes, the answer is 0. That's why you should practice analysis, critical thinking when it comes to financial accounting. Bakit? Kailangan malaman mo yung mga standards and then those standards, yun ang i-apply mo sa pag-a-analyze mo dun sa problem na binigay sa'yo. That's what financial accounting is. While in cost accounting, you just need to know how things should be computed. And okay ka na dun. Kaya nga for me, mas madali talaga yung cost accounting kesa sa financial accounting. Ewan ko lang din. Pero sa iba kasi, nahihirapan sila sa cost accounting. Kasi nga, ang mahirap talaga sa cost accounting, ang daming computation. Minsan, ang haba-haba ng computation. Tapos pag nagkamali ka ng isa, wala na. Mali na lahat. Sayang yung effort. Ano? Ayan. The next one is tax accounting. So, what is tax accounting? Napaka-obvious naman. It is accounting which is concerned with the computation of taxes and preparation of tax returns. So, that's why meron din kayo mga tax subjects. Okay? The next one is the government accounting. So, what is government accounting? So, this is it encompasses the process of analyzing, classifying, summarizing, and communicating all transactions na nagpe-pertain sa government funds. So, take note ha, iba ang accounting sa government entity kesa sa private entity. Eh, mabuti nga ngayon, ano na yan, na-commercialize na kumbaga. Before, hindi talaga. Ang mga account title, even now naman talaga, ang mga account title dyan may code. Okay? Pero before, you need to memorize also the code. Pero ngayon, hindi naman na. Okay? Next, bookkeeping. Ito yung pinakasimple. Actually, ito yung pinagdaanan nyo pa lang. Ito pa lang yung natapos nyo. Okay? Sa first year nyo, ito lang yun, bookkeeping. So, what is bookkeeping? This is the phase of accounting and the recording phase. This includes classifying, summarizing, and communicating information and interpreting the results thereof. Kung baga, nung first year, ang level nyo doon ay bookkeeper. Okay? So, yun lang kasi yung natutunan nyo pa lang. And the next one is auditing. Ano naman ang auditing? It is an independent examination of the financial statements. Kasi nga, di ba, even non-CPAs can prepare financial statements. But then the question is this statement reliable? Okay? Reliable ba tong report na to? Tama ba yung pagkagawa nito? So, dyan papasok yung auditing. The auditors, they examine the financial statement and take note, the very important word here is independent. Because auditors should not be dependent sa company na ino-audit niya. Siya dapat ay independent, which means hindi siya empleyado doon and wala siyang direct financial interest with the company na ino-audit niya. Okay? So, financial statements, they are developed internally within the business enterprise. So, ito ang auditing, hindi yan gumagawa ng financial statement. No. Because the responsibility in making the financial statement is with the business enterprise. Sila yung dapat gumawa. And they are considered the representation of the company's management. Okay? Yung report na yon, ang dapat gumawa nun is the management itself. Ngayon, ano ang role ng auditors? Ang role lang ng auditor is to examine the financial statements that are provided by the company's management. Kasi yung financial statements na yun ang ipoprovide nila to their external users. That's why in order for it to have a credibility, in order for it to be reliable, it should be audited. Next, because there are many conflicts between the interest of management and the interest of users, yan, auditor performs an attest function to lend credibility to the financial statements. Kaya napakahalaga ng role ng auditor. Kasi pag sinabi ng auditor na these statements are materially are free from material errors, so yun, paniniwalaan na siya ng users. Kasi sinertify or inattest ng auditor yung credibility ng financial statement. So sabi dito, depending on the information needs of other users, there exist other branches of accounting. So meron pang mga other branches which are developed in order to what? To provide the needs of the users. So, financial reporting standard setting body. Ayan, dito na tayo. Sino-sino ba yung mga nagsiset ng standard na sinusunod ng mga accountants? So, around the world, differing national traditions, yan, di ba magkakaiba ang tradition natin, legal system natin, ang capital market natin, business practices natin, magkakaiba din. Kaya, pwedeng makadevelop din ng iba't ibang financial reporting practices. Diba? And each country communicates financial reports based on the accounting principles ng bawat particular country. Pero, nagkaroon na ng evolution ng multinational companies. Before kasi, diba, the communication is very hard. Unlike now, yung globalization, napakadali na lang because you can reach anyone kahit nagaano pa siya kalayo. So that's why, ang bilis na nung globalization. Kaya naman, this multinational company led to the conduct of international business operations across national borders. And if there are business operations across national borders, business transactions become complicated. Okay? Goods and services and capital investments were transferred worldwide. Okay? Tayo nga, magkakaiba din ng currency natin, di ba? Kaya naman, there was a need to bring a common basis into the system of measurement and communication of economic activities. Dapat meron tayong international standard when it comes to that. Kasi magkakagulo eh. Imagine, itong bansa ng Pilipinas, iba ang kanyang accounting standard. Dun sa ibang bansa, iba din yung accounting standard. Paano pa magkakaintindihan sila? Okay? Magkaiba na nga ang language, so magkaiba pa yung reporting standard. Okay? So, the need was recognized and acted upon by the accounting profession through the creation of this IASC. So, what is IASC? This is the International Accounting Standards Committee. Kailan ito natayo? 1973. Okay? From the date of its organization up to 2001, the IAS, International Accounting Standards Committee, developed a set of uniform global accounting standards called International Accounting Standards, okay, which promote the use of application of these standards. So ito yung pwedeng sundin. Hindi naman ito mandatory actually. Hindi ito mandatory. Actually, sa buong mundo, hindi pa naman lahat nagko-comply sa International Accounting Standard. May mga bansa na may sarili pa rin. Pero mostly naman is nagko-comply na dito. So, the IAS Committee was reconstituted in 2001. So, binago siya. Naging ano na siya, IASB. What is IASB? IASB is the International Accounting Standards Board. Okay? So, ginawa na siyang ganun. Under the umbrella of ito, IFRS. Take note foundation. Okay? Meron kasi tayong tinatawag na IFRS. So, ito yung mga standards. Pero yung gumagawa nun, yung nag-organize nun, yung nagmamanage nun is the foundation. This one. Okay? Tapos under nito, itong IASB. So, the IFRS Foundation is ito, not-for-profit, public interest organization established to develop a what? High quality, understandable, enforceable, and globally accepted accounting standards. Yan ang pinaka-purpose nitong foundation na to. Okay? Take note na high quality, understandable, enforceable, and generally accepted accounting standards. And it is called IFRS standards. Okay? So, immediately after its reconstitution, IASB took initiative to undertake an improvement project in the light of queries and criticism raised in relation to IAS by securities regulators. Siyempre, di ba, hindi pa naman agad yan perfect. Marami talagang magka-question dyan. Kasi nga, di ba, sabi nga natin, business is evolving. That's why the standards should also evolve. Okay? So, ang objective daw ng improvement na ito ay to reduce or eliminate alternatives, redundancies, and conflicts. Actually, this is a very difficult job. Kasi, di ba, you have to formulate a standard that will be enforceable sa iba't ibang bansa. The accounting standards that originated from the works of IAS Committee, IAS, ito yung pinakauna, di ba? Even if improved or revised by IASB, are known as IAS, International Accounting Standards. So, yung ginawa na standards ng IAS Committee, kahit na daw yan ay in-improve pa or in-revise pa ng IASB, ang tawag sa kanya ay IAS. Pero, yung mga standards daw na originated from the work of IASB are called what? Ito, International Financial Reporting Standards or the IFRS. Collectively, however, IFRS include the following. Ayan, specific international reporting standards, interpretations, international accounting standards, and interpretations. Take note, napansin ninyo, ang laging kasunod ng mga standards ay interpretations. Because these standards should have interpretations. Okay, standards and interpretations. Ayan. So, at present time, the IASB still issues new standards and major amendments to the existing IFRS. Yun na nga yung sinasabi natin. Kasi nga, di ba, nag-i-evolve ang business. Kaya nag-i-evolve din ang accounting. Kaya until now, mayroon pa rin new standards and major amendments na nag-i-exist. Last year nga lang, ang daming binago. Ngayon, natigil lang kasi natigil din ang mundo because of the pandemic. Pero kung hindi, I'm sure by this time, may bago na namang standards. Okay? So, the mission of IFRS Foundation, may mission siya. And that is to communicate financial information that achieves what? Ito, Medyo naputo lang kasi natatakpan ng aking video. Accountability and efficiency. Meron pang isa yan to the financial market. So, yun ang pinaka-goal. As described in the, ayun, transparency pala yung isa. IFRS Foundation's mission statement. Ano daw yan? Transparency. Bakit kailangan? So that the comparability and quality of financial information must be enhanced or will be enhanced, enabling investors and market participants to make informed economic decision. Napakahalaga kasi niyan. Dahil kapag ang information na ipoprovide ay mali, ano magiging decision? Mali rin. Okay? Another one is accountability. Accountability, it reduces the information gap between the investor and the people to whom they have entrusted their investment. Tama yan. Kasi diba, if the investors entrusted their investment to these people, the management, baka mangyari misleading information na ibigay ng management. Sabihin niya that their investment is in good hands, that their investment ay kumikita, pero in reality pala naman ay hindi. The management is likewise accountable to regulators. So, hindi lang sila sa investors, sa regulators din sila accountable. Kasi, tinutulungan din naman ng mga regulators, yung investors. Pinoprotektahan nila yung rights ng investors. IFRS standards also contribute to economic efficiency by helping investors identify opportunities and risks, thus improving capital allocation. So when we say economic efficiency, pag sinabi kasi nating efficiency, this is doing things in a most conservative way. Pag sinabi nating conservative way, ibig sabihin, you are not overspending. Okay? You're not overspending in order to achieve your objective. So that's why, ito yung role ng IFRS standard. Kasi baka mamaya, the investors are not really identifying the risk and opportunities ng investment nila. So, financial reporting practices are dynamic. Yan na nga, na-mention na natin kanina, no? It is very dynamic. Siguro na-imagine nyo na kung gaano siya ka-dynamic. Because it is being influenced by the complicated transactions that result innovative business practices that evolve from changes in economic, political, and even cultural environment. Kaya nga dapat, if you want to be an accountant someday, you should be adaptive. Ibig sabihin, flexible ka. Ibig sabihin, you're willing to learn. Okay? You have passion to learn. Kasi nga, kung ang gusto mo yung alam mo ngayon ay yun pa rin hanggang sa mahabang panahon, hindi yun pwede sa accounting. Okay? So, financial reporting standards should be what? Ito, reviewed, amended, revised when necessary. That's why may mga pagkakataon na kaka-amend lang last year, may panibago na naman this year. Ayan. So, kaya nga sabi ko dapat hindi ka magsawang mag-aral at matuto. So, the standard setting process adopted by IASB. Okay, for now, ang IFRS daw ay they are required in more than 140 jurisdictions or countries. When we say required, mandatory, dapat sundin. Okay? Pero may bansa na hindi pa. Alam niyo ba kung ano ang bansa na hindi pa talaga required ang IFRS? Alam niyo? Sa tingin niyo alam. It is the United States of America. Because, para sa kanila, if they are going to compare IFRS from their GAAP, yung generally accepted accounting principle na in-establish ng Amerika, yun ang mag-prevail. Gaap pa rin sila. Okay? And there are differences when it comes to GAAP and the IFRS. But for now, there are 140 jurisdictions or countries na. And permitted in many more. Iba kasi yung required at saka permitted. Take note ha, iba ang required sa permitted. Sa permitted, pinapayagang gamitin. Pero, hindi naman mandatory na dapat lahat yun ang gamitin. So, sa Amerika, it is actually permitted, pero not required. One of the primary functions of IFRS Foundation is to govern and oversee the activities of its standard setting body, which is the IASB. Okay? Its trustees safeguard the independence of IASB and ensure the financing of the organization. So actually, itong IFRS Foundation, meron siyang tinatawag na trustees. May mga committee yan. So you can look, or if you want to learn more about IFRS, ito yung website niya. Pwede niyong tingnan. So IASB follow due process in the development of financial reporting standards. So, di ba, kung mapapansin niyo yung batas natin dito sa Pilipinas, for example na nga lang yan, yung budget allocation di ba? Bago kasi yan ma-implement, dapat maging batas muna yan. So, dumadaan yan sa Congress. And even yung mga tax natin, dumadaan yan sa Congress. Anong ginagawa sa Congress? Di ba nagtatalo-talo sila? Kasi pinaglalaban ng bawat isa yung kanilang paniniwala, yung kanilang gustong mangyari. So, meron siyang due process. It's the same with IASB. Bago siya maglabas ng standard, hindi yan basta-basta gagawa ng standard tapos yun na yun. No. Okay? It should follow a due process. So what are those processes? The first one is the setting the agenda. Okay? Agenda, sabihin, ano ba ang gagawin natin? Ano ba ang babaguhin nating standard? Ano ba ang i-improve nating standard? Or meron ba tayong idadagdag na standard? The next one is planning the project. Ito, developing and publishing the discussion paper. Developing and publishing the exposure draft. Developing and publishing the standards. And then afterwards, the standard is issued. So dito sa discussion paper, dito yan nagtatalo-talo. Yan. Diyan magbibigay ng opinion ang bawat bansa at ang bawat body na concern, na involved. Tapos saka palang gagawa ng exposure draft. Etong exposure draft na ito, pwede pa rin itong mabago. Pwede pa rin madagdagan, pwedeng mabawasan. And then, ipapublish na yung standard. Pagka wala pa rin kumontra, okay na. Adi yan na. I-issue na yung standard. Para nga rin siyang batas. Okay. So, in addressing users' demand for better quality information, the IASB identifies an issue item to its agenda. Okay? Ayun na nga yung diniscuss natin kanina. Nagkakaroon muna ng agenda. Once na-add na siya sa agenda, magde-decide na sila whether to conduct project alone or with another standard setter. So, meron tayong tinatawag na working group. Anong ginagawa ng working group? Sila yung nag-i-establish kung sino yung mga members and staff from the other accounting standard setters. Ayan, dito sa discussion paper. Ayan, what is the discussion paper? Ayan. Primary views of its authors. And an invitation to comment. Yan ang isabi ko, pwede nang magkaroon ng comment, pwedeng may mag-react, may kumontra. Yan. And then an issue being discussed may result to a research project being carried by another standard setter. Kasi napakahalaga dito yung tinatawag natin na independence. Kaya minsan, kumukuha sila ng another standard setter, yung hindi lang sila. and it may be an active agenda carried out by IASB. If the issue originates from another setter, the publication of the discussion paper requires a simple majority vote of the IASB. Okay, the discussion of all technical issues take place in public meeting, public hearing, and public roundtables. Ayan, nasa discussion pa lang tayo. Now, the IASB will consider the comments. Ayan, syempre may mga komento dyan. So, i-consider nila yan, which will result to staff research and recommendation and suggestion by the IFRS Advisory Council. Okay, so nagsasuggest din sila, pero it is based on research. And then after that, yung exposure draft na nga. It will be developed and voted upon yan. May pagbotohan pa na mangyayari. Parang sa Kongreso rin, nagbobotohan din. So, the exposure draft is the IASB's main vehicle to consult the interested public. So, comment period daw, o gaano katagal, it is 120 days. For IFRIC interpretations is usually 60 days. For IFRIC kasi, ito interpretation na lang. Kaya ito ay 60 days lang. But maybe less in urgent cases. Okay, next. IASB makes revision on the draft after considering the comments again. Diba? Magda-draft sila. On the exposure draft. Okay? When deemed necessary, the second exposure draft is developed and published. So, another exposure draft pa rin. Saka lalabas yung, pag na-reach na talaga yung conclusion, saka lalabas yung final draft na ipopost sa IASB's website. So, nakita niyo yung pinagdaanan bago maging standard. Tapos, may tinatawag tayong balloting, which is circulating the near final reporting standard to the, IASB members, requiring individual final review and approval. Tapos, initial period is about what? 10 days. After which the draft is freely, nakalimutan. So, ituloy nyo na lang. Okay? Kasi nakatakip yung aking video. Mamaya ko pa ito ma-edit. Kung liliitan ko, ulalakihan ko. Ayan. Next. After issuance of an IFRS, the IASB holds regular meetings to interested parties to address some unanticipated issues regarding the or relating to the implementation. So, hindi pa rin doon natapos, di ba? Kasi meron pang mga anticipated issues na pwedeng lumabas dyan. And then after that, IASB may initiate studies in the light of its review of the application of the standards and then changes in the financial reporting environment and regulatory requirement and comments received. At yun naman ay i-add ulit sa IASB agenda. So sabi nga dito, ang IFRS daw ay principle-based rather than procedure-based. Ang minimension nila ditong procedure-based or rule-based ay yung GAAP ng Amerika. Because GAAP, American GAAP or US GAAP, they are procedure-based or rule-based. Unlike pag IFRS, they are principle-based. Okay? International Financial Reporting Interpretations Committee, which is IFRIC, it was organized to interpret specific issues when the standards do not include in specific authoritative guidance. Okay? Kaya nga minsan pag yung mga author ng libro, diyan na lang nagkakatalo-talo pa kung paano nga i-interpret yung standard. Kaya meron din tayong IFRIC. Okay? So, the IFRIC succeeded the Standing Interpretations Committee or the SIC. Before, IFRIC yan, pero ngayon, SIC. Okay? And consists of 14 voting members. Okay. Now, dito na tayo sa Philippines na tayo. So, the standard setting process in the Philippines, before 1981 daw, wala daw tayong formal process for the development of accounting practices. Okay? So, ang accounting principles daw natin, they were patterned saan? Sa principles na developed ng United States of America. Yun na nga yung sinasabi kong GAAP, US GAAP. Okay? But then, in late 1981, saka na tatag ang PICPA. So, you are familiar naman na siguro with PICPA. These are the Philippine Institute of Certified Public Accountants. These are the accredited professional organization of certified public accountants in the Philippines. And it is organized by the ASC, which is the Accounting Standards Council, na na-formalize ng standard setting process dito sa ating bansa. Okay? ASC, which is the Accounting Standard Council, nabuo siya noong November 18, 1981. So, these are to study the accounting standard setting process in the Philippines. Ang purpose nito, ang function nito is to establish and improve the Philippine GAAP or the generally accepted accounting principles. And then after that, ASC developed this IFRS. Ang IFRS ay Statement of Financial Accounting Standards. Okay? So these standards were based on existing practices, research, and studies undertaken by the Council. Available national and international. So, meron tayong International Accounting Standards Committee and the Financial Accounting Standards Board in the United States of America. The AASC was composed of how many members? 8 members. Saan-saan daw galing yon? Galing syempre sa PICPA, may galing sa SEC, may galing sa BSP, may galing sa BOA, Board of Accountancy, and financial executives of the Philippines. The members were selected by this organization based on some degree of recognition for technical expertise. And then after that, 1997, saka daw nagkaroon ng decision ng ASC to move fully to what? International Accounting Standards. Okay? Though some statements of financial accounting standards adopted before 1997 has already been based on IAS. Kasi nga, di ba, like na-mention kanina, yung daw GAAP natin ay based sa US GAAP. Initially, originally. But then, in 1997, nag-decide na gamitin na yung International Accounting Standards. Ano ba yung International Accounting Standards? Yun yung diniscuss natin kanina. Diba? Yun yung standards na nabuo ng IASB. Then, the transition to IAS and IFRS was gradually made from 1997 to 2000, and then the ASC developed accounting standards that were already based in IAS. In 2001, it adopted most of the standards that had been developed by the IASC. Yun na nga yung IAS. Okay. Noong 2005 daw, ayan na, full adoption na tayo ng IAS. Okay? Simultaneously, this transition, the IASC and later the IASB approved the revised IAS and IFRS. So, dati, di ba, IASB, naging IASC. Then, the Board of Accountancy. So, the Board of Accountancy, which is the body that regulates the practice of accountancy in the Philippines, na-establish siya kailan? Noong 2006. So, the FRSC, which is the Financial Reporting Standards Council, ni-replace niya na yung ASC. Wala na yung ASC, pinalitan na siya ng FRSC. Since then, yung FRSC na ang nag-carry ng decision ng ASC. Na yung Philippine Accounting Standards daw ay ma-converge sa International Financial Reporting Standards. Okay? So, under the implementing rules and regulation of the Philippines, FRSC should compose ilang members na? Yan, 14. So, sino-sino yan? Yung BOA, SEC, BSP, kasama na yung BIR. Kasi diba dun sa una natin, wala pa yung BOA. Tapos, wala rin itong BIR. Okay? Nandun na yung financial executives, nandun na rin yung PITPA. So, ang nadagdag ay ito. Yan. So, nadagdagan yung composition ng board. And then, the FRSC formed ito na, Philippine Interpretations Committee or PIC. Di ba sa SIC? Tayo naman, PIC. In November 2006, to provide the Council assistance in establishing and improving financial reporting standards in the Philippines. So, PIC issues the implementing guidelines. Kasi di ba, pag may lumabas na standards, parang ganito, parang sa tax din. Pag may lumabas na tax, ang kasunod niya na pag-uusapan ay paano yung implementing rules. Okay? Ganon din naman yung mga standards natin. Pag may lumabas na bagong standard, magkakaroon ng implementation guidelines. Kasi di ba, minsan nga kasi hindi masyadong specific yung nakalagay sa standard. Yan. Similar to IFRS, PFRS consists of PFRS, which are adapted from IFRS, diba? And PAS, which is adapted from IAS. And then the Philippine interpretations of IFRIC and the SIC, diba? Yung IFRIC yung nauna, tapos naging SIC. Tayo naman, ang interpretation natin ay PIC. So, malinaw ba? PFRS based sa IFRS, PAS based sa IAS, tapos yung PIC natin, it is interpretations din na kagaya nung sa IFRIC and SIC or base. Hindi naman talaga kagaya. Okay? So, PFRS set out the recognition, measurement, presentation, and disclosure requirements dealing with transactions. Ayan, and important in general purpose financial transactions. Bakit kailangan nyo itong maintindihan? Kailangan talaga because if you want to be an accountant, you should know your profession. And this, itong pinag-aaralan ninyo, pinapakilala sa inyo ano ba ang accounting. Pinapakilala sa inyo yung profession na mapupuntahan ninyo pag graduate kayo. Okay? And it is very essential to know your profession. So, kung marirecall nyo kanina, na-discuss natin ang IFRS, bago sila maglabas ng bagong standard, ay dadaan muna ito sa due process. So, tayo, ang PFRS, they are developed through, due process din, syempre. So, hindi pwedeng basta-basta maglabas ng standards. So, take note ha, hindi ibig sabihin na pag meron na yung IFRS na standard, automatically, yun na rin yung sa atin. No. Dumadaan pa rin siya sa proseso kung yun ba i-adapt natin o hindi at kung paano yung adaptation na gagawin natin. Okay? So, that involves member of PICPA, financial executives, regulatory authorities, member of the academe, and other interested individuals and organizations. So, due process for projects normally but not necessarily involves the following. O, ito naman. Ito, yung sinasabi ko. Ang number one natin, syempre, is the consideration of pronouncement of IASB. So, kapag nagkaroon ng bagong standard ng IASB, diyan tayo magkakaroon ng consideration of pronouncement. And then the next one, ito na, magkakaroon na ng task force. Okay? And give advice to the FRSC. And then after that, mag-i-issue na for comment an exposure draft. Okay? So, parang kagaya din ng purpose ng, yung procedure ng IFRS. And then, gaano daming araw ang comment period? 60 days. Unless shorter, not less than 30 days. And then after that, consideration of all comments received within the comment period when appropriate. And then preparing a comment letter to the IASB. Ayan. Kumbaga sasabihin natin, itong standards na nilabas ninyo, ito yung mga comments namin. And then approval of standard and an interpretation of the majority of the FRSC members. So to this date, the FRSC continuously monitors the revision and amendments to the IFRS to ensure that yung mga improvement na yun ay naging effective din sa Philippines. So far naman nakakahabol na tayo. Noon kasi masyado pa tayong malayo sa pag-a-adapt ng standards from IFRS. Pero for now, nakakahabol naman na. Pero hindi pa rin talaga natin pwedeng i-adapt lahat. Bakit? Kasi iba pa yung business practices natin dito sa bansa natin. As you know, we belong to a third world country. Anong ibig sabihin nun? Yung ating ekonomiya and business processes, syempre, ay behind kumpara dun sa ibang bansa. Okay? Kaya yung standards na sinusunod nila doon, hindi pa natin talaga din pwedeng sundin dito. Kasi nga, it is still not applicable dun sa current situation natin. Kaya nga, bibigyan ko ulit ng emphasis. Accounting evolves as business evolves because we are the language of business. Kaya lahat ng mga standards na ito, tinitake into consideration lahat din ng mga stakeholders that are involved in business. Okay? So this is the end of my discussion because yung mga kasunod na slides ay more on notes na, yung mga terms that are used in this module. So if you have question, kung meron kayong gustong i-clarify when it comes to my discussion, pwede ninyo yung itanong during our online session. Okay, so for now, ipunin nyo muna yung mga questions nyo and then be sure na matanong nyo yun sa akin sa online session natin. So that's all and thank you.